I mean, Ghana had one job, one simple job, one job. Get a draw, through to the round of 16. Africa has 3 representatives. Then you can taunt Uruguay all you want. You can talk about the revenge after the game. Just get a simple draw through to the round of 16. Then you try to outplay Uruguay, a brilliant footballing team. I mean, they have some world-class players. They have players who play for big teams in the world. I mean, what a bad magic 3 for Africa, man. What a bad magic 3 for Africa, man. Ghana. What a disappointment. What a disappointment. Welcome everyone to MRM Sports. I'm your host, Ronald M. Man, match day 3 or match week 3 reaction. World Cup talk. I mean, match week 2, I was buzzing. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the videos, subscribe to the channel, man. It's World Cup talk from an African perspective. And you know what? I'm happy at least 2 African teams are through to the round of 16 in Senegal and Morocco. And I have to say, I mean, let me start with the good news, obviously. I mean, with Senegal, I expected them to go to the round of 16. I'll be honest and say Morocco shocked me. I mean, they get rid of the coach. A few months before the World Cup, someone comes in. I mean, the star player, Hakim Ziyech, is beefing with the former coach and stuff. So I really didn't expect much from Morocco in this World Cup, I'll be honest. But then for them to top the group where they had Croatia and Belgium in the group, that is quite impressive. I think they are the beacon of hope for Africa at the moment. And then, of course, Senegal doing Senegal things, man. Through to the round of 16. They play England on Sunday. Morocco play Spain, which is a tricky game. But then we'll get into that a bit later on the video, man. But then, yeah, we think, wow, Ghana. I mean, Ghana disappointed. You know, with Ghana, looking now, reflecting on the World Cup, with Ghana, when they qualified, in all honesty, I was one of those who thought Nigeria would have had a better chance at the World Cup with the players they have. So when Ghana qualified, I really didn't give them much. But then you have to bring in context of the football into the conversation, where you look at how Ghana were in a pole position to qualify. I mean, a draw would have been good enough. A draw would have been good enough for them to go through to the round of 16. Then they tried to outplay Uruguay. I mean, Uruguay have Cavani, Suarez, you have Nunes, you have Valverde, you have Bentancur. These are quality players who play for top teams in Europe. You talk of Real Madrid. Okay, Cavani still plays in Spain. You think of Bentancur has been holding it out for Spain. I mean, these are quality players for quality teams. And you think, I mean, just keep it tight at the back. I mean, get a draw, try to hit Uruguay on a counter. Instead, the goals Uruguay scored, they're almost on the break of their own. I mean, Ghana lost possession unnecessarily for those goals to be considered. And, man, it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, I think, sticking to the good news, comparing to the 2018 World Cup, at least now we have 2 representatives in that of 16, where in 2018 we had no one go through for Africa, which was quite an embarrassment. I think now, out of 5 teams, yes, it's only 40%, it's 2 out of 5. But then, the way the other teams were eliminated, you think of Tunisia. Tunisia got a victory against France. It wasn't enough at the end of the day, because I really thought Denmark would maybe hold or even defeat Australia. But then, at least we can say they beat France, even though it was a weekend team. I mean, Cameroon had a good showing. They managed to defeat Brazil, which at the end of the day is a significant victory for African football. But then the context of things, of course, they're still eliminated. For me, that is another one, man. Then you think, of course, Ghana. You know, I think lessons learned from this World Cup, if you're an African fan or someone who loves football and wants to see Africa do well, man. Our tactical discipline, some would say tactical, but the tactical discipline, I think, is key. The way we approach games at times is key. I mean, you think of the Netherlands versus Senegal game. I mean, Senegal could have been easily eliminated if Ecuador decided to show up on the last match where Senegal needed a win to go through. The way we played Netherlands the first game, we were too defensive minded. I mean, we didn't create so much chances. We didn't do anything for us to say we should have got a point or something. Then we ended up losing the game 2-0. You think Cameroon, the first game, I think the first game for Cameroon, man, against Switzerland, it was a game where Somewhere we're afraid. We thought let's just play for a draw, which is never a good mentality. I mean, you already, by being an African team, you're an underdog in this World Cup, especially when you're playing the likes of the more established European sides. Just go for it, man. Just, yes, keep the discipline, then try and go for it. Don't just sit back there and wait. Okay, it's the first game, let's get it through. Then we see this. Nah. Just go for it, man. Look at what South Korea and Japan are doing. Look at Japan, for example. I mean, defeating Spain and Germany. I mean, if it was African teams, can we really think they would have done that? I mean, don't just try and hold on to whatever it is. Look at what Morocco did. I mean, for Morocco to draw with Croatia, defeat Belgium, defeat Canada, that's how African teams should take their football. I mean, I think in the next World Cup, most certainly, we need to see that mentality shift from African teams. I mean, don't try and leave it late. Don't always go into the last match of the day trying to get a win, a must win, and then hoping for something to happen in another game for you to go through. Have your own destiny in your own hands, like what Senegal did, what Morocco did. Your destiny should be in your own hands. Then do your job. It's always easy. I always feel like teams whose destiny is in their own. Look at Australia, for example. They knew that destiny was in their hands. They had to beat Denmark and then they're through. And they did just that. Why can't we have the same scenario for African teams, man? I think it's no longer the question of talent, because we do have talent, we do have physique, we do have I think the strong minds of our players to know this is a World Cup. They're playing against world stars, but then they still have to perform. I think the technical awareness and it's what we're lacking now as a continent. Because I've been quite impressed. I mean, let me think of a team which didn't impress me in the World Cup from an African perspective. It's hardly in. I mean, other than matchday 3, I mean, I didn't have. I honestly thought it would be worse than this. I thought at most maybe one team in Senegal would go through. I mean, I think Tunisia is another team which disappointed because I didn't see Tunisia losing to Australia. Again, I think it's a mentality thing. I mean, Australia knew they had nothing to lose. If Australia had gone out of the World Cup, no one would have cried that we've lost a great footballing nation, you know. Everyone would have understood, okay, it's Australia, the football is still developing. They're not yet there. They're not the best team in the world. But then they took the ball by the horns, really, and took it to the teams they're playing. I mean, in a group where there was, you think, Australia, Denmark, Tunisia, and France. I mean, anyone would have said France and Denmark would have gone through. Then even African fan, of course, would think France and Tunisia. No one in all honesty would have given Australia a chance to get out of the group. Just like Japan, just like South Korea, man. I mean, South Korea had Portugal, Uruguay, Ghana. At most, would have said maybe they'll finish third ahead of Ghana, maybe. Or no one thought South Korea would finish second after Portugal. I mean, everyone thought Uruguay would get the spot. I mean, same as Japan, Spain, Costa Rica, and Germany. Would have thought that those teams that South Korea would jump Germany and Costa Rica, man. So that's something we have to look at from an African perspective, if we're being honest. Try to be the surprise package. I mean, as a continent, you have to be the surprising package, like what Morocco did. I think Morocco, for us as Africans, Morocco is the surprise package, which is a good thing. I mean, they gave us something similar to the Saudi Arabia incident against Argentina, where Morocco actually shocked Belgium. I think they shocked the life out of Belgium, which is something that we need. I think we need more teams to adopt that mentality in the next World Cup in 2024, 2026, yeah. We need that mentality. We need teams to shock the world like that, man. But then, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I can't wait for Senegal versus England. I think that would be a huge game. I mean, I've seen already some people thinking Senegal is out. I mean, again, it would be a mentality thing, the tactical thing. If you go into that match hoping that let's hold on for dear life and go to penalties and then anything happens, then I think England will be just too strong for us. We need to put pressure on that England back four. I mean, if anything, if you watch European football, you know at the back, England are vulnerable. I mean, they're not the strongest at the back. We need to do what America did, put them under pressure. I mean, get Salah on the ball, try and create some space, for them, because you know how the game's going to play out. You know England will try to squeeze us up the pitch as much as they can. Then it leaves room behind them for us to hit them on the counter. We need to be precise with our ball distribution, man, just to get one over England. Have them wide up at the space at the back. Don't let them wide up at everything in front of them. Have them wide up at the space at the back. Then you think Morocco versus Spain. I think, of course, Spain changed a number of players against Japan. So again, you would expect Spain to play a full fit squad, the best players against Morocco. It's a knockout game. I mean, you lose, you're gone. There's no second chance. But then I would trust Morocco to just keep the shape and then try to get that opening. I mean, Ziyech will be key for the ball distribution, man. I think if they play the way they played against Belgium, although Belgium were quite poor, if they play the same football, maybe there is hope for us to shock Spain. But then I think if there's going to be a shock for me, it has to be the England Senegal game. I am hoping Senegal shocks England, man. But we'll see how it goes. Now, I think I've always been a glass half empty kind of guy. So now for me, I can't say definitely we're going to all the way to the semi-final as I predicted before. But then it would be nice to have more of these shockers, man. More because we've had them. I mean, Morocco shocking Belgium, Saudi Arabia shocking Argentina, France being shocked by Tunisia, Brazil being shocked by Cameroon. I think we've had more of these games, and I'm hoping again that same spirit is with African teams, because in all honesty, England and Spain are difficult opponents. I mean, no one would hold the two African teams going through hold anything against them if they lose to Senegal, to lose to England and Spain. No one will say they should have gone through, unless if the contest of the game comes to play where we spend chance after chance after chance after chance, then England nicks a 90-minute goal. They're through. Same with Spain, man. We have to be proud of the guys who are going to go through, man. Hopefully they'll do us proud as a continent. I mean, we need stronger representation in Africa. We need stronger representation in Africa. But then now we'll react to the games. We'll react to the round of 16, and hopefully it will be a good round of 16. Other than that, man, it is what it is. I'm your host, Ronald Damon. I can't wait to react more to football, man. Cheers.